Greetings and welcome to Neverwinter Nights. So I've been wanting to do a playthrough of the game for quite a while now. I played the game a lot when it first came out about 13 years ago, so it's been quite a while. I mainly played the game online. The game allowed for private servers to be set up, and many of those servers were with persistent worlds, which was very nice, sort of a small version of an MMO, I suppose. The game had up to either 64 or 128 people online, so that was quite reasonable. The game also has quite a few single player campaigns. Let's take a look here. So we have the first campaign, the Neverwinter Nights campaign. This is the one that I'll be playing right now. There's also the 2 expansions, and there's a whole bunch of extra modules. These are the ones that shipped with the version of this game, which is Neverwinter Nights Diamond, which has pretty much everything BioWare released officially for the game. So there's quite a few extra small campaigns. I suppose these take a few hours to play through. And additionally, there's also a whole bunch, basically countless, of modules made by players. The game had quite a lot of people making their own content for the game. There must be hundreds, if not thousands. Of course, not all of them were of good quality, but plenty of them are. I'll be looking into those later on as well, but there's a lot of replayability possibilities, and I'll be doing just that. So yes, we'll be starting off with the regular campaign. The campaign is actually pretty long, and you can see I haven't unlocked any of this yet because this is a fresh install, and I haven't played the game in must be almost 10 years, I suppose, so I'll be a little bit rusty. So we'll be starting off with the prelude and create a new character. Alright, so I'll be starting off with a male character. I think I'll be going for a gnome. I've never really ever played with a gnome, I think. So as for the portrait, we got a few choices here, so I guess these first few are what are supposed to be gnomes, and then you go into dwarves. It's a little bit vague. You could use a dwarf portrait for a gnome, because usually gnomes do have beards, unless they get rid of the beards, and they also have some halfling portraits around here that I guess you could use. So gnomes are a little bit in between halflings and dwarves, so you got a few choices. I think I'll be picking this one, even though I do think that it's supposed to be a dwarf, but that is because I'll be going for a cleric, which usually uses heavy armor, so that goes with the portrait. Now the reason for taking cleric is because they are quite versatile. You have a decent amount of hit points, as you can see, D8, versus, for example, sorcerer or a wizard has only a D4, and this makes it very difficult, especially early on, to try and survive. I think even when you play D&D pen and paper, everything is rolled, so you could basically start off with a wizard with 1 hit point, so that's pretty bad. But I think in Neverwinter Nights, the first 3 levels or so are the max amount of hit points, so that you are not totally squishy, because, well, basically you could be rolling a 1 for quite a few levels, and you end up being level 4 with 4 hit points. That's pretty bad. But I'll be starting off with the cleric, because they are versatile, they have very decent spellcasting, and they are armored and are able to fight a little bit, so let's go with that. As for alignment, it doesn't really matter all that much. I think I'll be going for neutral good because it does fit with the cleric. And now for abilities. So you can't just go for recommended. This sets up your stats in a reasonable fashion, but I do want to tweak a few things. So I always like having a high intelligence, because intelligence makes it that you can get extra skill points, and skill points are quite nice. So yes, I actually need most of these stats, so I can't really get rid of too much. I think I'll get rid of some constitution. I still have +2 modifiers, so that's pretty good. I'll be putting these into intelligence. Wisdom I need for spellcasting. Dexterity I don't really need, even though I don't like having a negative modifier, but in this case it doesn't really matter all that much. And especially since I'll be using heavy armor and I won't exactly be doing all that much fighting, at least not in melee. So I guess that could be it. Charisma is also somewhat important for turning undead. Still, I could get rid of some strength. I don't really need it that much. No, I'm gonna leave it. I think it's okay, even though I would like some more intelligence. Let's see, if I get rid of 1 wisdom, get 2 intelligence. Okay, that's acceptable, I guess. So yeah, the points aren't always equal. So for example, if I get rid of this intelligence, you can see I have 2 remaining points, but if I were to up my wisdom, well, it doesn't say here, but the cost to increase is 2. So you could exchange 1 point of wisdom for 2 points of intelligence, and I think I'll actually be doing that. Alright, good. Now as for packages, I'll be setting up my own package. This is first all the skills that you can choose, and the grayed out ones are the ones that you can't use for this class, but you can multi-class. Other classes can get these. Well, this is for the bard, but I don't think I'll be multi-classing anytime soon. First, let's take some concentration. This will allow me to not get interrupted when casting spells, and we'll be getting some heal. Next up we will get some... what do we get? So class skills don't cost that much to put points in. So the cost is 1, as you can see, and I can put up to 4 points in it. And these other skills, for example bluff, is not a class skill, it costs me 2, and I can only increase it up to 2 points. So this is also another reason to do some multi-classing. Quite popular is to do some multi-classing into the rogue class, because they get a lot of skill points and they have a lot of class skills, and especially this one here, use magic device, is very useful. This allows you to make use of scrolls and wands without actually being a spellcaster at all. But in my case that's not really that useful, because my class is already a spellcaster, so use magic device itself is not that important. So anyway, I guess I'll be picking some lore. This will allow me to identify items, which will be very useful. And I still have 4 points left, which I'll be putting into... I don't really want to craft anything. Now, disable trap is useful. That's also one of the reasons to, for example, take a rogue. You can put some points in disable trap, which is very good. So I won't be putting any points in there. Not that I want to do any multi-classing yet, but we'll see. Yeah, open lock is also useful. You know what? No, wait. I'm probably gonna be getting a companion, a rogue companion. So I'm not sure. Let's get open lock. Alright. And now as for feats, these are basically abilities, or well, they change your character a little bit, so there's a lot of choices as you can see, and some of these can only be chosen at the first level. For example, this one, I think, yes, only at the first level. So you only get 1 chance for picking these. They aren't that significant, they give you a little bonus to something. So yeah, a lot of choices. Now, since I'm a spellcaster, I'm sort of thinking of picking something that enhances my spells. So there's quite a few interesting ones. Silent spell without the verbal component, so if you are muted, you can still, or I'm not sure if it's called muted or whatever, but you can't talk, and when you have that debuff you can't cast any spells. But if you have this if you have this feat, you can still cast spells, but all the spells cost 1 level higher. I'll be explaining that later on, once I get into spells, but... Alright, so we also have Still Spell, which is a very useful one, but not for me. This is for classes that cast arcane spells, which is bards, sorcerers and wizards. So this means that if you were to cast Still spells, the armor will not be giving you any penalties, so you can't fail any spells because of armor. But I don't need that, I have divine spells, I can use armor either way. But it's a very useful one, especially on bards, for example, because a bard is somewhere in between a spellcaster and a rogue, and this way, with Still Spell, you can still use a armor, which is very good on a bard. Right, so what will we be choosing? There's so much choices, always difficult to choose, so let's see. Now extra turning could be useful, since that's what I specialize in. Let's see, turn undead is already how many times? 3 times per day. Okay. And this would give me 6 times additional, so that's quite a bit. Ah, yeah, here we go. Combat casting, that's the one that I want. So this will allow me to cast spells while in combat, as it says. And this will make it so that I have less of a penalty on concentration. So I'll be doing that. I'll probably be going rather close to the enemy, because I am equipped with heavy armor, or at least I will be. So that'll be good. Alright. Oh yeah, now I have to pick a domain as well. Again, a lot of choices. I'm not entirely sure what I'll be picking. Yeah, so healing is usually a decent choice. Now Earth is useful for buffing, as you can see, and yeah, it's again a very difficult choice. Let's see. Let's actually go for Sun. I do remember these spells being rather good, although my memory is sort of fuzzy, so... How many can I pick? Oh, I guess I can pick 2. Let's see, so I guess I could pick Sun and... What about Strength? Protection, Plant... Bark Skin is useful. Magic. Now, problem is that these are arcane spells, if I remember correctly, at least some of these. So I'm not sure if my armor will still... if I'll still get a penalty for this. I'm gonna try anyway. Let's do this. How many can I pick? Okay, that's it. So, Sun and Magic, alright. That's good enough. Alright, and now we customize. This will be rather simple. Let's try and get a beard, because, well, at least our portrait has a beard. I guess this will do. Alright, good enough. I'll be wearing armor anyway, so I can't really see all of this. Then we can generate the name, which I find very useful because I usually never have any idea what to name my characters, so I'll be pushing this a few times until I see something that is acceptable. What's this? Merudok Folkor. Yeah, whatever. Good enough. And we have a whole selection of voices that we can choose for our character.
swiftly.
Once more into the breach, my friends. Attack! Kill them now!
By my will, attack!
Strike at them! Attack!
Get on them! Attack, I say!
So yeah, a lot of choice. I think I was gonna go for this one.
Will attack!
Sort of fits with a gnome cleric, I suppose. So there we got this. This is all for the biography, but that's all optional. There we go. Alright, and I guess we'll be going into the game now.